I think, it's interesting. There's certain combinations of composers and keys that become iconic. And the first one, the most obvious one that comes to mind is Beethoven in C minor. The most famous example is the Fifth Symphony, but even from the beginning of his compositional career, pieces like the Pathétique Sonata, all the way to the end, the very last piano sonata, Opus 111, C minor signified drama, sort of tension, this feeling of being at odds with the world, and the C minor piano concerto is very much in that mode. And I think being sort of thrust into that role of a rather angry protagonist, I would say, is actually very thrilling, because Beethoven's voice is in any case so compelling that I think when he's expressing himself in such an uninhibited way, then it's it's an amazing opportunity as an interpreter. I think that the two moments in the Beethoven C minor concerto that always sort of stand apart to me when I'm playing the piece or when I'm listening to it are, first of all, the end of the first movement, because again, the first movement has the feeling of being this kind of massive edifice, with a lot of tension and a lot of strength in the way it's constructed. And then at the end of the cadenza, instead of sort of, continuing in that vein, sort of there's this moment where the music seems to, I would say, disintegrate. And what you're left with is this sort of ghostly, eerie dialogue between the piano and the timpani. And it's almost a problem for me that every time I arrive at that moment in the piece, I find that I'm not breathing because that's the sort of effect that the music has on you. And then I remember that I have to breathe, and things continue from that point. The other really extraordinary moment in the piece is just the very beginning of the second movement, because again, the first movement is so strong and so unyielding in many ways, and then the atmosphere that Beethoven creates through the sound world, the key, the sort of endless pedal marks. The harmonies are blurred because he asks for the pianist to hold the pedal for so long. It's so unbelievably different from what's come before it that it makes this really striking effect. It's one of, in all of the piano concerto literature, it's one of the most, it's like a light, there's something about that opening entrance of the piano that is really unique.